Okay. This is chapter 3, part 2, so we'll carry on where we left off. He was just Barney, ZB calls. There can never be another one. A middle-aged man in a short-sleeved blue uniform steps out of the pharmacy and gets behind the wheel. Dad, this is that kid I was telling you about, Keenan. He looks me up and down. American, eh? Well, nobody's perfect. Stop it, Dad. ZB pleads from the Jeep. To me, she adds, he's joking. I peer past ZB's father to the next block over, where the post office sits. Sure enough, an American flag flies from the near entrance, and the red maple leaf of Canada flutters over the far door. That would mean that the white line painted along the main road that disappears into the building must be the famous border. I feel an odd urge to dash across it just to see if ZB's father tackles me. Then again, in my current state, I couldn't dash if you put a booster rocket on my pants. That's why Bryce had to practically carry me out of the gym. Remembering Bryce, I say, Officer Tice, this is my trainer. That's when I notice I'm introducing thin air. Oh, sorry, I guess he's gone to another client or something. Can we give Keenan a ride home? ZB asks her father. This is his first day out. He's probably tired. The Canadian border officer nods. Hop in. I hope you don't mind a little detour. I gotta swing by the lighthouse and check out the computer system. ZB frowns. The Americans are in charge on Wednesday. I hope they don't expect me to do anything about it. Just because I'm an American doesn't mean I know how to fix a lighthouse. Officer Tice starts up the Jeep and pulls away from the curb. I know it's their day, but the Geek Squad blew a tire on the bridge, so that leaves me. You're not a computer expert, ZB points out. Her father shrugs. If I can get my head around the rules of curling, I can figure this out too. So we drive away from the town and into the woods for the last kilometer or so. It's a dirt road. Barney, too, slides off the dashboard, and ZB doesn't even seem to notice him landing on a heap on the floor in the Jeep. If you like the lighthouse, she tells me, oblivious to her dog scrambling at her feet. Except for the computer that runs it. It's no different than it was back in the 1860s. The bathroom's only been there since the 1980s, Officer Tice points out. You've got Canada to thank for that. That was nice of you, I volunteer, because he seems to expect some comment. Nice my foot. They put the latrine on the American side. That was before my time, obviously. Obviously, I gulp, hoping he's kidding. I've only seen the lighthouse from a distance. It's kind of impressive, 7 or 8 stories tall and cobbled together with fieldstone. I know it's pretty old, but it looks older than the Big Bang. The closer you get, the more you can see how it's crumbling. There are a lot of gaps in the mortar holding the stones in place, and a lot of pieces lying around on the ground at the foot of the tower. American flag, I note, seeing the stars and stripes fluttering above the beacon. ZB nods. Until morning, then we switch. Officer Tice steps out of the Jeep and beckons. Come have a look. We're pretty proud of this old place. I don't know what to expect inside of a lighthouse, the inside of a lighthouse to look like. This is basically a big stone tube, cool in spite of the heat of the day, with an earthy smell like plant soil. There's the bathroom opposite the door, but otherwise the space is completely bare except for a wrought iron spiral staircase rising in the center. Officer Tice starts up, his footsteps gonging in the still air. ZB follows, and of course Barney too follows her. I'm right behind them, and I haven't gone very far before I realize what a bad idea this is. It's my first day off the lawn chair, and the last thing I need to do is go up and around to infinity. By the time I get to the top of the stairs, I'm almost too dizzy to think about what I'm seeing. This is the watch room, ZB's dad explains. Back in the day, this place was full of gears and pulleys and levers. Now all we need is that. He indicates a laptop computer sitting on a wooden table. He shakes the mouse, frozen again, wouldn't you know it. He pulls out the power cord and plugs it in again, and touches a button. The computer boots back to life. He checks a few settings and nods. All fixed. No Geek Squad necessary. ZB grabs my arm. Let's check out the light. Like I'm not woozy enough, she drags me up a wooden ladder to the top level. It's all glass, ancient panes, most of them cracked. The beacon is bigger than I am, a giant spotlight surrounded by mirrors. If it was night and the beacon was lit, it would be projecting our shadows all along the St. Clair River. There it is, the whole island. She gestures at the panorama laid out before us. She's expecting me to be impressed, and it's kind of nice, I guess. But when you've seen the pyramids and the Taj Mahal, it's hard to get all worked up over a slab of rocks and dirt. The U.S. on one side of the river, Canada on the other, and in the middle, good old center light. A little bit of both, but also sort of neither. Going down is even harder than going up, especially with Barney too, who always seems to be whenever I'm trying to plant my foot. Back on solid ground, Officer Tice regards me critically. Better get you home, Keenan. You're a little green around the gills. We pile into the Jeep. ZB shuts the passenger door, leaving Barney too yelping plaintively on the cobblestones. I open my door and pat the seat next to me. Come on, Barney. The spaniel leaps up inside, but avoids my hand, squeezing to the front to be near ZB. She sounds annoyed. He's not Barney. He isn't even close to Barney. He's never going to be. Zarabeth, her father says reprovingly. As we jounce along the dirt road, we pass the black and white car from the Geek Squad, driving gingerly toward the lighthouse. Aren't you going to tell them? I asked ZB's dad. You know that it's fixed already? The Canadian border officer doesn't answer, but I can see his smile in the rearview mirror. And we'll stop there. So next chapter is chapter 4, Zarabeth, which I will post next week. And hopefully, again, you're enjoying the story. It's starting to get a little interesting. And I'm sure the adventures will start now that Keenan can leave his yard and his house and he can get out and explore a little bit. So that's it for now. We'll see you next week.